Alright, moving along with this tutorial, I am going to complete number 6. What materials do you propose to use for the new interior walls and floor of the Keystone building? Justify your answer. So this one is to some extent open to interpretation. If I go into the building code, there's a little bit of guidance here. Let's see, where is that building code? I think I actually need to go back into here. Okay, so going into the building code, chapter 6, 602, 602.3, it says type 3 construction. So we're going to assume that we're using type 3. Type 3 construction is the type of construction in which exterior walls, and so we went over this a few questions ago, but the point of looking at this once again is to note that for type 3 construction we can use any interior, so the interior building elements are of any material permitted by this code. And so using some information from some other lessons, it's probably reasonable that we use light gauge steel for this. So this is open to interpretation. Just put a little bit of something to back it up, and I'll dump this in as my something to back it up, and put down something that would make sense for number 6. Alright, so for number 7, use the IBC to determine the occupant load for the Keystone Library, assuming the second floor is added per Keystone renovation preliminary plans. For now, assume the second floor is entirely stacks, first floor is entirely reading rooms, and we're going to also count the green roof as an additional reading area. So the first thing we need to do is figure out the square footage for the main floor, square footage for the second floor, and the what we're going to do for the square footage for the second floor, as well as for the green roof, is assume that that's just half of the main floor footage. Okay, so you can just get that information pretty quickly from here. It's just 120 times 72. And so using that information, I don't want to ruin it all for you. I need to do a little bit of work. You can, where are we going here? Sorry, into the building code. We are going to go to in section 10, in chapter 10, in 1004 or 1004, scrolling down, point 1.2. The maximum floor area allowances per occupant. So what this is saying is, for all these different types of ways that space can be used in a building, for each occupant you're going to need this many square feet. That's your occupant load factor. Alright, so if we scroll down here, we can see that where are libraries? Libraries are right here, and so for libraries it's divided into 2 categories, reading rooms and stack areas. And for the reading rooms you're going to need 50 square feet per person, and in the stack area 100 square feet per person. So let's just grab that little piece of information with the snip tool and put that into the assignment. Alright, and so the way that you're going to calculate that is, hang on, let's get this. You're going to say, let's say for the first floor, if your area was, let's say, around 8,640 foot squared, then that divided by, let's put this in parentheses, 50 foot squared per occupant is going to equal around 172 occupants for that number of square feet. Alright, so you're going to do these calculations like that and figure out how many occupants you're allowed to have for the occupancy load given for the area that you're calculating for. So you're going to do that for the first floor, and then for the stacks on the second floor, and then for the green roof, and you're going to come up with those three numbers, and then you'll need to use that information for a bunch of stuff that you're going to do going forward, where you need to figure out the total occupant load for the main floor, as well as the total occupant load for the sum of the green roof as well as the stacks on the second floor.